What is the most important thing you need to do before you go camping? If you haven't figured it out yet, stick around.
The leaves are falling all around. It was time I was on my way. Yes, it is camping season and I'm excited to get out in the woods again. So excited that the first thing I usually do in the winter is check my gear. That's one of the things that I recommend and nobody ever listens to. The first thing I like to do before I get out in the woods, go through my gear completely and make sure it's going to perform when I'm in the woods, especially this time of year, because it's much more important to have functioning gear this time of year when the temperatures might be going down below zero, or at least down to the point where it makes life very uncomfortable, and you don't want to be in that situation.
It is camping season, baby, but don't go off into the woods just yet. You need to check your gear first, brah. Inspect your shelter. It's very important. If you fail to do this, you are inviting disaster. And what do I mean by inspect? It is not looking at a bag full of gear. It is not looking inside a bag full of gear. The only way to truly inspect your shelter is to set it up. You're going to have to set your shelter up. It's the only way to be sure.
It's the only way to be sure.
It's the only way to be sure.
Inspect your tent poles. Make sure the shock cords are still elastic. If the shock cords are too loose, they will not fit together and they are useless. Also, inspect the seams of your shelter, looking for oxidation and holes in the seams. Inspect the seam tape, looking for loose and oxidized joints. These seams are critical to keep rain out of your tent. Next, crawl inside. Inspect the tub or the floor of the tent, looking for holes and rips. Water can and will come up from the ground, so make sure your floor is sealed from moisture. And now the most important fun part, penetration testing. There are only two ways to find out if your tent is water resistant, in the lab or in the field. Don't find out in the field unless you are ready and prepared to repair your tent in the field. Why is all this so important? During summer camping, there is much less risk of hypothermia and death, but I cannot tell you how many times I have gone camping with someone that did not set up their gear before using it for the first time ever, or even the first time of the season. Every single time it caused misery and discomfort. Every single time I suggested a setup and they failed, I gave them crap. I told you so. That is what I do. What is the risk of not testing? Well, as I stated before, discomfort, misery, and more importantly this time of year is hypothermia. You could actually die if you're cold and wet. But probably more importantly is you may be destroying the dream. The dream of having a great time camping, a great adventure, and it might forever spoil the dream because you did not prepare. It's sad, but it's true. What are the downsides of setting up your tent before you go camping? Well, the biggest one is it takes effort, it takes time, and it's not particularly fun, but it can be. What are the upsides? Well, number one, you're building your skills. Each time you set up your shelter, you're building your skills. You're also building your confidence. And believe it or not, you're extending your boundaries. If you are a skilled camper, you can go further. You can ride further. You can go deeper into the woods because you're confident and you have the skills. So you can go further. You can go deeper and make your dreams come true.
All of your wildest dreams will come true.
Here's some suggestions. Encourage your riding buddies to test and set up their equipment before they leave. Do short, low-risk shakedown runs close to home. Single night events. Take notes. What works really well and what needs improvement. Do some research. Do more testing in your backyard and laboratory. Most importantly, share this video with your buddies that need to see this video. And I'll see you next time.